Good afternoon to all. Welcome to Digital Learning, Department of Collegiate Education. Myself, P.Ranganayakulu, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Government First Aid College for Women, Tumkur. Today, with this video, we can understand the pitfalls of business law. ಈ ಒಂದು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಇವತ್ತು ಪಿಟ್ಫಾಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಲಾ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಟುಡೇ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಪಿಟ್ಫಾಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಲಾ. ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಪಿಟ್ಫಾಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಲಾ ಆರ್ ದ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಲಾ, ಆರ್ ದ ಡ್ರಾಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಲಾ, ಆರ್ ದ ಲಿಮಿಟೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಲಾ. So therefore here we can see that what are the limitations, are the pitfalls, are the drawbacks of business law. And business law it is applicable for all people irrespective of caste, property and power. However, it is difficult to apply to all people because the few people misuse the law due to their power and money. So here there are the two sentences. So with the help of these two sentences, so we can understand. So there is one sentence, it is a very strong one, and in the another sentence there are some weaknesses and that we can be observed. So in the first sentence, so we can understand with the help of the first sentence, the law is very important for all the peoples, and because the law is also applicable, and here there is no any discrimination regarding the enforceability of the law is concerned, regarding the implementation of the law is concerned, because the business law, it is applicable for all the people and irrespective of caste, property and power. It is applicable for the general public, and here there is no any type of discrimination, and there are no any separate business laws for the depending upon their caste or property and power. And for all the peoples and for all the general public, the same business law is applicable and irrespective of their caste, property and power. So with this, it is the law is very very important. It is stronger to understand the importance of business law. And if you come to the second point, ನಾವು ಎರಡನೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಲಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಲಿಮಿಟೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ, ಒಂದು ಡ್ರಾಬ್ಯಾಕ್, ಒಂದು ಪಿಟ್ಫಾಲ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. However, it is difficult to apply to all people because the few people misuse the law due to their power and money. So it is common, and because of their power and money, the people, their power and maybe political power, or maybe the influence of money, or maybe other dominance, or which are applicable when in the enforceability of the business law. So therefore, if all these are influenced when at the time of implementation of the business law and in the enforceability of the business law, so we can't expect the judgment, that is proper judgment or the good judgment from the court, even if we are approached the court. So therefore, the business law with this point, with this sentence, so there is one of the difficulty that we can be observed. That difficulty is that for all the people, that is some of the people, we can't say that all the people, some of the peoples, they can misuse the law, and by using their influences of power, the influence of money, or with the other influences, there is a possibilities of misusing the law. So if there are the possibilities for the misuse of the business law, and the question arises, what is the use of law? ಯಾವಾಗಾದರೆ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್ಸ್ ಈ ಲಾನು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಲಾಸ್ ಮಿಸ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತಾರೋ ಅಥವಾ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಆ ಮಿಸ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಅದರಿಂದ ನಮಗೇನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ನು ಅರೈಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ದ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪವರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಸ್ ವೆಲ್ ಆಸ್ ದಿ ಮನಿ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ವರ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ law at the time of enforceability of the business law. So this is one of the major drawback or the limitations of the business law that we can be observed in general. Next, let us come to know the one more that is called as, before we go to the this is about the introductory part of the pitfalls of business law, and let us come to the know what is the meaning of pitfalls. Here the meaning of pitfalls is, it is a danger or difficulty, especially one that is hidden or not obvious. So here pitfalls is a danger or the difficulty or the limitation or the drawback, especially one that is hidden or not obvious. So therefore, so with this we can understand the difficulties of the business law. So therefore here, so it is hidden, especially the business law, the hidden or not obvious means, so it is not clear. Not obvious means it is not clear, it is hidden. So hidden, it means, so that is called as the what you call it as ಮರೆಯ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇದರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಾವೇನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು ಅಂದರೆ, ಸೊ ದ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು, ಸೊ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ವೇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಇಯರ್ಸ್, ಬಟ್ ದಟ್ ಈವನ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ವೇಟೆಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ದ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಯೂಟ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಹಿಡನ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಸೊ ದಟ್ judgment is a hidden judgment and maybe or may not be favorable judgment in for us. It may or may not be the favorable judgment as we are expected from the court. So we are expected the that is called the favorable judgment from the court, and the court is delivered the judgment, but it is not so satisfied with us. We are not satisfied with the judgment it is given by the court. So therefore it is hidden, not or of obvious, that is the judgment. So therefore we have to wait for the so many years. ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಪಿಟ್ಫಾಲ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ, ಪಿಟ್ಫಾಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಏನು ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಡೆಲಿವರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ, ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಇಂದ ಏನು ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಡೆಲಿವರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ, that is a hidden. So that is not a disclosed to anybody. We do not know what will be the judgment. ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವರವರಿಗೆ ಯೋಚನೆಗೆ ತಕ್ಕಟ್ಟು ಫೇವರಬಲ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಫೇವರಬಲ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಫೇವರಬಲ್ ಟು ಒನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ and it may be unfavorable to the another party. It may be in favor of one party and it may not be in favor of, it may not be favor of the other party. So therefore that judgment is a hidden judgment and are not obvious. So therefore it is not clear. So if it is clear, if the judgment is that if the law is very clear, if the judgment is very clear, why should we go for appeal for the higher courts? That is the question arises. ಯಾವಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೋ, ಲಾ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ದ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂಥ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅಪೀಲ್ ಹೈಯರ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗೋಂಥ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈಡ್ ದ judgment given by the lower courts, we will approach the higher courts and will go for the appeal to get the judgment and in favor of us. So therefore the law is not very clear, it is not obvious, means it is not clear, and the especially that it is a hidden judgment, that is a hidden judgment. So therefore, so even if you are waited for the 3 or 4 years for the court judgment, the judgment may be a hidden judgment. We do not know what will be the judgment that will be delivered by the court. So therefore this is one of the difficulty contained in the business law. Then let us see what are the major pitfalls or the main pitfalls or the limitations of business law. So the main pitfalls or the limitations of the business law are, now let us have the glance at once on the limitations of the business law. Number one is it is the rigidity of law, and the second pitfalls of the business law is it is a conservative in nature. The third pitfalls of the business law is it is a formalism, and the one more, that is the last pitfall of the business law is complexity. So let us explain and understand one by one the pitfalls of business law. So here the number one, the first very important pitfalls of business law is the law is it is a rigidity of law. So what is the rigidity of law? It is an ideal legal system keeps on changing according to the changing needs of the people, but because of the rigidity of law, it is unable to keep pace with the fast changing society. There is always a gap between the advancement of society and the legal system prevailing in it. The lack of flexibility in the business law results in hardship and injustice to the people. So therefore, according to this, what we can able to understand means, so this is rigid, the law is rigid, the business law is rigid. So there will not be any changes of law according to the change of circumstances in the society. So the law is framed, the rules are framed relating to the business. So in the 5 years back or 10 years back, and the number of amendments, the enormous amendments are required for the law, but the amendments are not done according to the change in circumstances in the society. At that time, so because of the advancement of the society, so because of the development because of the improvement of the civilization of the society, the law is always continuously to be changed according to the change of circumstances in the society. So therefore, if it is not changed, if it is followed for a long time, if it is continued for a long time, and at the time, and it will not be pace, it is not in touch, keep pace, it is not in touch with the fast changing society. If it is not in touch with the fast changing society, what is the use of law? This is the question which arises. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಾವು ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಲಾ ಲೀಗಲ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಲಾಸ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ಸ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇನ್ ಸರ್ಕಮ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್. ಯಾವಾಗ ಸೊಸೈಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳು ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ತಾವೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಗ್ಗಟ್ಟು ಲೀಗಲ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದೆನ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದಟ್ ಲೀಗಲ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಡ್ ಎ ಲಾಟ್ ಟು ದ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಒಂದು 20 years ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ 10 years ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋಂಥ ಲಾನು ಫಾರ್ ದ ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿವಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ and the advancement of the society, that is not applicable, really it is not applicable for the society. So at that time the question will arise as what is the use of, what is the necessity of the law, the question which will be arised. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಇದರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಾವೇನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಸಿವಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂಥ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೋ, ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೋ, ಸರ್ಕಮ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೋ, ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೋ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಗ್ಗಟ್ಟು ಲಾನ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರನೇ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಲಾಗೆ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಲಾಯಿಂದ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಜನಗಳಿಗೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಹಾಗೆ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ವಿತ್ ಸಮ್ ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಎನ್ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರನೇ ಜನಗಳಿಗೆ ಅದು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ pitfalls or the limitations of business. Let us come to, and also if you are continuing the same point with the help of the same point, then there is always a gap between the advancement of the society and the legal system prevailing in it. The lack of flexibility. So that with this sentence we can be understand that there is always a gap, there is a wide gap between the advancement of society and the legal system prevailing in it. ಅಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಂಟ್ರಿನಲ್ಲಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಲೀಗಲ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವೋ ನಾವು, ಅದು ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ವೈಡ್ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಲೀಗಲ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತగ్గಟ್ಟು ಲೀಗಲ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕಲಿ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಾ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ವಿತ್ ದ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಅನದರ್ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ that we can understand the lack of flexibility in the business law results in hardship and injustice to the people. Therefore, so because of the lack of flexibility, there is no flexibility in the law. This is rigid. Already ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ರಿಜಿಡಿಟಿ, ಬಿಗಿತ. there is no any flexibility. ಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇನ್ ಸರ್ಕಮ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ಸು ಅದನ್ನು ಲಾ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡೋ ಅಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಈ ಲಿಮಿಟೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ರಿಜಿಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಲಾ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವಾಗಾದರೆ ಇದು ಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ವೋ ಅದು ನಮಗೆ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಇದು ನಮಗೆ ಸೊಸೈಟಿಗೆ ಆನ್ ಪಾರ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ವೋ, ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕಲಿ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದ justice, proper justice for the people, and we can get the injustice to the people. The court will deliver the injustice and the court will provide the injustice for the ಪೀಪಲ್ಸ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದ್ರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಾವೇನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಲೀಗಲ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮು ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇನ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಆ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ನ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ದಟ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ದ ಅಮೆಂಡ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ದ ಲಾನ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದನ್ನು ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ, ದ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ದ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಮೇಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ. ಸೊಸೈಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ರೀತಿ, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ತಗ್ಗಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನು ಲಾನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ದೆನ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದ justice to the, from the court the court will provide the justice to the that is proper justice to the people. So otherwise there will be injustice to the people. The expectation of the people is different, and the actual justice may be actual judgment may be different than the judgment it is delivered by the court, and automatically simultaneously there will be injustice to the people. So this is about the rigidity in the law, in the business law. And number 2, it is called as that the second limitation of the business law is the conservative nature. So what is called as the conservative nature? That is, let us see what is the meaning of the, how it is, the law is a conservative. Another disadvantage of business law is that its conservative nature. Law is conservative in its approach. This is not conducive to a progressive society. ಅಂದರೆ ಇದು ತುಂಬ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವೇಟಿವ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬ ಸಾಂಪ್ರದಾಯಿಕವಾಗಿ, ಕನ್ಸರ್ವೇಟಿವ್ ಇನ್ ನೇಚರ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಫಾಲೋ ದಿ ಆಲ್ ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ conservative, but law is conservative. This is not conducive. That is ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗೋ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾ ಫ್ರೇಮ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ, ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಮೋರ್ ಫಾಲೋಡ್ ದಿ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವೇಟಿಸಮ್, if the law makers, legislators are followed the more conservatism, automatically it will not be conducive to a progressive society. It will not be beneficial. It will not be convenient for the society. ಇದನ್ನು ಸೊಸೈಟಿಗೆ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗೋ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. So therefore this is one of the another disadvantage of the business law. So therefore ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಲಾ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕನ್ಸರ್ವೇಟಿವ್ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತನೂ ಅದು ಸೊಸೈಟಿಗೆ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗೋ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾನು ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಲಾ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ the society will be more beneficial. The society will get the benefit with that laws. So therefore they have to follow the conducive nature rather than the conservative nature. Let us come to the third pitfalls of the business law. It is a formalism. So here that is it is the law suffers from excessive formalism. That is, will be a more discipline in the formation of in the Indian law, legal system, in the law system. Therefore the greater emphasis is laid on the form of law rather than its substance. That is, then undue formalism causes unnecessary delay in dispensation of justice. So therefore there are the more and more formalities are followed in the proceedings of the case, and also in the legal proceedings, and the court has to be followed the more that is called as the formalities in order to give the that is called as in the dispensation of justice, in the disposal of justice and in the delivery of justice. ಅಂದರೆ ಇದರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಾವು ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ದ ಕೋರ್ಟ್, so if the plaintiff and the defendant, so if with their expectation and within the prescribed period of time the court will not deliver the justice, because the court will follow and also the law, it consists of the more formalities. Therefore all the formalities are to be fulfilled by the court before they are going to deliver the justice and before they are going to dispense the case, and therefore the formalities are to be reduced and only the minimum formalities are to be followed, and then we can expect the that is judgment from the court within the expected period of time. Therefore the formalities are to be reduced by the legislators when at the time of framing the rules relating to the business. Then only we can expect the judgment within a prescribed period of time, within the expected period of time. So this is about the one more difficulty or the drawback of the law system related to the business in India. That is called as the formalism. It means ಇದರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಾವು ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, so there will be a more formalities, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಫಾಲೋ ದ ಮೋರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಲಿಟೀಸ್. ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ನವರು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಸೊ ಆ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫುಲ್ಫಿಲ್ ಆಗೋ ತನಕ ಕೂಡ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂಥ ನಾವು ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಾವು ಕೋರ್ಟಿಂದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಆ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಏನಿದಾವೋ ಅವನ್ನ ರಿಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ವಿತಿನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತು ವಿತಿನ್ ಎ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ ದ ಕೇಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಡಿಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಕೋರ್ಟ್, ಸೊ ಡಿಸ್ಪೋಸ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಕೋರ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ last pitfall of the business law is complexity. So what is called as a complexity? Sanklistaka. That is, it is more complexity. Another disadvantage of business law is its complexity. It is true that every law effort is made to make law as simple as possible, but it is not possible to make every law simple. That is due to the complex nature of modern society. So therefore this is one of the drawback or the limitation of the business law. Another disadvantage business law is its complex. It is true that every law effort is made to make law as simple as possible. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲಾ ತುಂಬಾ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು, and even a layman can be able to understand the legal terms which are contained in the business law, and how it is possible, and it is to be made more simple as possible, but it is not possible to make every law is more simple. So therefore ನಾವು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್, ಲೀಗಲ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಮೋರ್ ಸಿಂಪಲ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು, ಸಂಕ್ಲಿಷ್ಟಕ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು. ಲಾ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನು ತುಂಬ ನಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮೋರ್ ಈಸಿಲಿ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫಾಲೋ ದಿ ಲೀಗಲ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಡ್ರಾಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸಿಟಿ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಡ್ರಾಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ business law. And therefore, but is it possible to make all the law is simple? No, it is not possible to make every law as simple or more simple, but to the extent it is possible, it is to be simplified. The legal system, the law system in India is to be simplified for the convenience of or for the convenience of all the peoples. Then only it will become very easy for all to follow that legal system, and it will not be more difficult, and it should be very simple, and that is due to the complex nature of modern society. But why this complexity is followed means, and there is a more complexity and there is a more complex in the modern society. The society is also more complex. Therefore, and according to the complexity that is prevailed in the modern society, the law is also very complex. So therefore, every law, it is not ನಾವು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋ ಪ್ರಕಾರ, ನಮ್ಮ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಲಾ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ವೈ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್. Why? Because the society is also, there is a complexity in the society, there is a complex in the society. Therefore, it will not be possible to make the law is more simple. So therefore, it should be more difficult. So therefore, this is about the last that is a drawback or the pitfalls of business law. So let us have the let us have the glance at once again the limitations of business law, and here the introduction about the business law. So that is, business law is applicable for all people. Here already we are explained all this, that is a property, and therefore the business law is applicable for all people irrespective of the caste, property and power. However, it is difficult to apply to all people because few people misuse the law due to their financial power and as well as the political influence and with their money also. And the pitfalls is the danger or difficulty as the drawback or the limitations, that is especially one that is hidden or not obvious. Next, there are the four main pitfalls or the limitations of the business law, which includes the number one is it is the rigidity of law. That number two is the conservative nature, and this is the second limitation or the drawback of the business law. And the third one is there is a more formalism, and this is the third limitation or the pitfalls of the business law. And let us see the last limitation, last pitfalls of the business law. It is a complexity. So therefore, basically we can observe the four limitations or the drawbacks or the pitfalls of business law. Number one is the rigidity. Number two is conservatism. Number three is formalism, and number four is complexity. So these are the four, that is more and more the drawbacks or the limitations of the business law. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.